I still see the trees, I still hear the creek, I still smell wet leaves and dirt. That night in the Ozarks is inside me now. It sits right there behind my ribs. It doesn't move, it doesn't leave. I thought it would be a simple trip. Just one night out under the stars. I packed light. I looked at the maps, thinking I was a real outdoorsman. The sky was clear when I got there. The fire I built was small, just big enough to keep the chill away. I sat around it, thinking about life, drinking cheap beer. Then, the feeling started. Something was watching me. It wasn't the feeling of a deer or a fox. This was different. This felt big. This felt patient. It was making infrasound. That was the crazy part. After that night, sleep just stopped working for me. It was like a switch had been flipped off in my brain. At first, I told myself it was just shock, that my body was still amped up from the adrenaline. But the nights just got longer and longer. The darkness in my room felt like it was stretching out, getting heavier. My mind would just fill up with that shape, that outline against the trees. I would lie awake for hours, just replaying it, seeing it over and over again. Sometimes I'd drift off for a few minutes, then wake up from a dream that was that night on a loop. My heart would be hammering against my ribs. My hands would be shaking so bad I couldn't hold a glass of water. The smallest noises started to set me off. A tree branch on the roof, the neighbor's dog, the wind in the eaves. I'd sit bolt upright in bed, listening, my ears straining for something that wasn't there. I'd start breathing fast, almost hyperventilating. I would tell myself over and over, "You're safe, you're in your house, the woods are miles away." But the fear didn't listen to logic. It stayed, a cold, heavy presence. It was like a guest that wouldn't leave. A week went by like this. Then two. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I made an appointment at a clinic. I remember sitting in the waiting room, my leg bouncing up and down, feeling like a complete failure. The doctor came in and asked some simple questions. He had a kind face. I just laid it all out for him. The camping trip, the thing I saw at the tree line, how I couldn't sleep. I expected him to look at me like I was crazy, but he just listened. He didn't judge. He offered help. That was the first time I felt a tiny crack of light. First, he suggested breathing exercises. A slow inhale, a long exhale. I tried them. And you know what? They helped, a little bit. They could calm me when the panic started to rise. But they didn't help me sleep. So then he said maybe medicine could help. Pills for anxiety and sleep. He warned me about side effects, about how they could be habit-forming. I just nodded. I was so tired. I was desperate. I started taking the pills. I could finally get some rest. The nightmares came less often, but the pills didn't take away the fear. They just put a blanket over it. The forest changed for me. It's that simple. Before that night, I loved the woods. The smell of pine, dirt under my boots. I could spend all day out there. Now I avoid the woods completely. I don't walk under a thick canopy. I won't step past the first line of trees. The idea of camping is a joke. I will never, ever sleep outside again. I don't want to feel that small. I don't want to feel looked at like that again. I had to tell my friends. It was awkward. I told them straight up, I will not go back into the forest. Not for a hike, not for a fishing trip, nothing. Some were sad, a couple were angry, they didn't understand. They'd say it was just a bear. I didn't blame them, they weren't there. All I knew was what I needed to feel a sliver of safety, stay away from the trees. I stopped taking the scenic road, chose suburbs and strip malls. It added 20 minutes, but it was worth it. I gave up the river bend. Each little loss felt like a small cut. Enough cuts make a scar. The fear didn't just stay in the woods, it seeped into everything. My day-to-day became negotiations with anxiety. I checked the locks and the windows, not fearing burglars, but something from outside getting in. I started avoiding forest movies or creature features. It would trigger the memory and spike my heart. My world was shrinking, one small decision at a time. I started to keep a journal. Nights I slept, nights I didn't, the dreams, the jump scares in the day. I wrote about the pills, the fogginess, the trips to the clinic. Writing didn't fix me, but it made the fear less of a monster, something I could look at and name. I also found a support group. This was a huge step. We met weekly in a small room and drank weak coffee. We talked about what comes after the trauma. Different stories, tornadoes, fires, same feeling, the loss of safety, the constant anxiety. The nights didn't get better all at once. The change came in tiny steps. At first, 2 hours before panic. A few weeks later, 3. I still woke up, but sometimes I could fall back asleep. The doctor and I made a slow plan to reduce medication. We didn't rush it. Try a slightly smaller dose, see how it went. Keep the plan only if it worked. One day, I tried to go near trees again, in a big open park. I sat on a bench. I watched the tree line. 10 minutes, then 20. My heart slowed. It was small, and it was hard. My friend called. He worried about me all the time. He didn't tell me to go back. He just listened. Little things show me I'm getting better. Tiny victories. I can leave my house at night for coffee without my heart racing. I can sleep for 5 hours straight sometimes. It feels like a miracle. I can talk about that night now without my voice shaking. I went for a follow-up and didn't cry. I stopped one of the pills with my doctor's help. I even took the long road home past the woods. I didn't look at the trees, but I drove the road. I still won't go camping or step into deep woods. Those choices protect me. Healing is slow. It's not a movie scene or a single breakthrough. It's a long, quiet series of small acts. Sleeping a little more than last week. Walking past trees without panic. Being honest with a friend. Saying no without shame. Celebrating tiny gains you fight for every day. That's real recovery. I don't want to end with a clean, happy ending. That would be a lie. It wouldn't be real. I want to end with the truth. The night in the Ozarks changed me permanently. It broke my sleep. It brought pills and doctors and a fear I had never known. It took away parts of my life I loved. But it taught me that while fear is powerful, small, steady, quiet hope is powerful too. It keeps showing up. I'm still cautious. I still respect the forest from a distance. I still double-check locks. I still carry the memory. If you've ever had an experience like this, please leave a comment below.